Hello! Today I'm going through some of my favourite things with you. I've never been one of these people to do the whole monthly favourites videos because I don't understand how someone can have a complete new set of favourite things every single month. When I find something I like, it takes me a while before I let go of that item, you know? Like I find the things I enjoy using and I use them for a long time until something like trumps that. So I mean, I guess it's different when you're getting sent PR stuff all the time, and I guess there's so much to get through. But for me, when I have a favourite thing, it's my favourite for a while. I don't see myself ever really doing monthly favourites unless it gets to that point. So at the moment, I'm just kind of only doing a new one once I get enough new favourites. I've done some favourites blog posts before, but this is actually my very first video. So I'm just here sat at my beauty table, and I'll be just going through things that I find myself just grabbing for every day as I'm doing my makeup. I find that I just gravitate towards particular items all the time, and it's just because I love them. So in no particular order, I'm just going to start going through them. Okay, so first thing is this right here. This is the Models Prefer Pawpaw multi-purpose balm. I picked this up in one of my hauls recently from Priceline just as a last minute purchase, and I think in the video I even said how it was pretty much just the packaging that got me. This is not something I had seen before. It was just so darn pretty that I had to have it. So I wasn't even sure if this was going to be any good at all. And I picked it up in the peach flavour just because it had the cutest packaging, and who doesn't love peach? And I was surprised. I was surprised how much I ended up loving this. I use this most days and it's just a gorgeous texture. It's like any other, jelly-based balm really. It just has this grease top lid, which you then just squeeze out. I just squeeze it onto my finger and rub it on my lips, and it's just really smooth. Like it doesn't have this, doesn't have the same greasy, thick texture that other balms have. It's really smooth, almost oily, but not quite. And I found that it plumps up my lips a little bit, which is not something that I look to do. Just found it was a byproduct of this. I don't know if it's meant to do that, but I guess because it's like, because the way it treats the lips, it just makes them look plump and hydrated and smooth and just gorgeous. And then I usually apply this, and then once it settles in, apply lip products over the top, and I find that they glide on so much better having put this on first. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think this was super cheap as well. It says it's 100% natural, which I don't know if that's true or not. It seems to be pretty legit. It looks like just coconut oil and beeswax, things like that. So absolutely loving this at the moment. I recommend it if you happen to see it as you're going through Priceline. I believe they're the only ones that stock models prefer. But yeah, super good, absolutely love it. Next thing is another lip product. I've already done a video about this raving how much I love it, but since I do love it, it's in this video. So it's the Revlon Ultra HT Matte Lip Color Liquid Lipsticks. As I've said before, I absolutely love these. They go on so smooth and they don't make your lips all dry and like paint's been on them. They're just absolutely beautiful and comfortable to wear. The pigmentation is so good. For something that doesn't completely dry down, I'm still surprised how much stays on your lips throughout the day. Like it's definitely long lasting, even though it's quite, what's the word? Even though it's not completely dry. So absolutely adore these, use them most days. This is really good, particularly for work. Because it lasts through all the cups of coffee and water and all the little snacks I have throughout the day, so really love that one. This one certainly isn't new. I think most people on the internet are raving about these at the moment, but this is something I reach for a lot and I'm honestly loving so much. It's the Urban Decay Glide On Lip Liners. I think these came out with the Vice lipstick range. I don't remember seeing these beforehand. They might have been there and maybe I just didn't see them until they had like the Vice packaging where they've got all the lipsticks and then the lip liners in there with them. But that was the first time I saw them and started trying them, and oh my goodness, they are so smooth. They're highly pigmented and they go on super smooth. They're probably the only lip liner I've tried, like a pencil one, that is so creamy and not dry. Like everyone raves about the MAC ones, and while MAC has a good colour selection, I find that they dry out way too easily, and so it's really uncomfortable trying to put them on your lips. whereas these ones are so buttery. Like, I don't know if you can see it there, like it's a bit worn down, but it's just so soft. This one is in the shade Naked, which is a beautiful orange based nude. They're obviously a little bit more expensive than the drugstore ones because it is Urban Decay, but definitely worth the money. They're the best lip pencil I've ever tried. And being a neutral colour, I can wear this most days and with most lipsticks. So yes, absolutely loving this one. Now this one was a bit of a surprise. This is the Benefit Push-Up Liner Pen thingy. When these came out last year, I wanted them straight away, mostly because of, one, because of the style of the pen, because it is quite unique, but mostly because they had one that came in this green shade, like this dark emerald, which is absolutely beautiful. And I was like, oh, I really want it. And I did swatch them in store, but I heard a lot of reviews saying that they weren't very good. So I just kind of left it for a little while. But then at Christmas time just been, on Boxing Day when they were having all the sales, Benefit had this little pack which came with this, their Real Mascara and the remover. And it was reduced to like something ridiculously low. And so I was like, great, these are things I wanted to try anyway. So I picked it up thinking even if it wasn't any good like I had read, at least I wouldn't be losing that much. So it was worth the try, and I absolutely love it. I don't know what these people are going on about who say that they were disappointed and they don't like it. That it dries out. Like, I haven't had that at all. I just love it. It makes putting on gel liner so much easier. I still like using a brush and putting it on myself with a pot, but as an alternative way of putting on liner, it's absolutely great. I love it. If you haven't seen them before, the lid just screws off, and this bit at the top here is actually like a silicone rubber type thing. And then in the center, which again, I don't know if you can actually see it, you wind up down the bottom, and then out of the center of this like applicator thing at the top, the gel liner comes out, and you can just see it's like squeezing out the top there. And because of that rubber shape, it makes it super easy to glide it onto your eye. The only thing that I have noticed with this is that, like, you can see it's kind of happening now, it kind of squeezes out a bit too far sometimes, so you have to only click out a little bit, knowing that it'll continue to come out afterwards. So you do waste a little bit of product, but I find that doesn't happen too much, and it's just about understanding how the product works. So I know now to only click it a little bit so that it doesn't come out too far. But yes, I absolutely love it. I use this like every other day. Like, I mix it up with my other normal gel liner and brush. I'm a big fan. I don't know why more people don't talk about it actually. And now that I know that it is very good, I'll definitely be picking up the green one because it looks so pretty. I love anything green when it comes to eyeshadows and eyeliner, all of that. So yeah, pretty relieved that that one actually worked out quite well in my favour. Another one that's certainly not a new thing, it's definitely an oldie but a goodie, is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I have a lot of concealers. I did a post on Instagram recently with all my different concealers. In fact, I'll be doing a video shortly at some point just going through all the different concealers I have, because I have them all for different reasons. But I find that out of all of them, that this one is still my favourite, even though it's like one of the cheaper ones that are there and it's been around forever. It's just so good. Like, I'm never disappointed with it. It works every time. The other ones, it's like you have to use in certain circumstances, otherwise it doesn't work out. Whereas with this one, it's perfect every time. It doesn't crease up under my eyes. It's got plenty of coverage. It's not the fullest coverage concealer, but I find I can get coverage in other ways. Whereas if I use a concealer that's too dry and cakey, there's no way to fix that. So it's definitely my favorite concealer, and I just can't help but reach for it every single day. Another thing I reach for all the time is the NYX Tame and Frame Brow Pomade. This I came across just a few months ago, and I absolutely love it. It's my favourite way to do my brows. The only thing that stops me from using this is when I'm short on time. It does take a bit longer using a brush and this as opposed to just some powder and running it through. But certainly if I have the time, I will use this because it just looks so much better. It's much cleaner, and I don't know, it just makes my brows look way better. So if you haven't seen one of these pomades before, it's just like a little pot of this like gel type formula. This one's drying out a little bit. It's not too bad, but it's starting to dry out, so I will be putting some drops in that at some point so that it doesn't completely dry out. But yeah, I absolutely love it. A little goes a long way, especially with lighter brows like mine. I find if I use too much of this, it gets really dark really quick. So I just use a little bit. So it's just that light taupe shade. It's definitely a must-have in my makeup collection and could not live without it. Now we've got another cult favorite type product. It's funny, a lot of these are not new things, but I guess like when something's good, it's good, you know? But this one's new to me because I only just bought it recently in my latest haul video, I think it was. It's the CoverGirl Full Lash Bloom Mascara. This has been a big favourite among lots of people for a long time, but I only just started using it and found that I reach for it most days now. Like the first time I used it, I was impressed. I was like, wow, this is really nice. And then, you know, I went back to my normal mascaras and it just wasn't the same. And they were good, but I found myself wanting to go back to this one a lot. Really surprised that for something that has so much hype and people go on about all the time that it actually is that good. Usually when people go on about stuff, I'm like, nah. I just get suspicious and I think, I don't know if I trust these people. But this was actually really good. I'm absolutely loving this. It's just the right amount of product. The way that the tube is, it like pulls off most of the product as you pull out the wand. So whereas with a lot of my other mascaras, I find I take the wand out and I have to like scrape off all the excess before I can use it. Whereas the tube on this has a mechanism that does that for you so that when I pull it out, it's ready to go. So it doesn't apply too much mascara, therefore it doesn't clump up. It adds enough volume without being clumpy. Usually it's like mascaras that don't clump don't add enough volume, so you end up with like nice defined lashes but not really full ones, whereas this somehow doesn't clump up but gives you enough volume. So I absolutely love it. Super surprised that it actually turned out well. It's so cynical of me, I know. But yeah, absolutely loving it at the moment. Now for some skincare, just to shake it up a bit. These are a little bit dirty. Just proof that I use it, I guess. So these are the L'Oreal clay masks that have come out recently. I have all three, as you can see. There's a lot of hype about these at the moment and a lot of advertising campaigns because they are new. So there's a lot of stuff on YouTube and billboards and everywhere at the moment. But they really are amazing. They're my favourite mask I've ever tried, and I've tried a lot. I just find that they do a really good job at what they claim to do, but they also don't, they're not too harsh on your skin. Like they're actually, it's like they actually protect and nourish your skin as they cleanse. Which I find super helpful because my skin can be sensitive sometimes with stuff that's a little bit too strong. It like strips my skin a little bit too much and then it kind of gets a bit sensitive. But these are absolutely beautiful. I don't know if I have a favourite at this point out of the three. I was leaning towards this one, the charcoal one, which is a detoxifying one. Really cool how this one works, and it pulls out, like you can see it pulling out all the oil out of all your pores, which is really cool. But then just the other day I was using this red one again, which is to exfoliate and smooth, and when I washed it off my face was so soft that I was like, wow, you know, I almost overlooked it and would have gone back to this one if I hadn't given it a go. So I don't know, it's like they're good in different ways. They're just really nice. I try to alternate between them just to keep my skin kind of well-rounded, so to speak. So if you haven't tried them, or if you're not sure if you buy all the propaganda about it at the moment, I can tell you that they are very good. Maybe just start with one if you don't want to get all three. If you had to start with one, I mean, it depends on your skin, I suppose, but I would probably say the nicest is this is probably the best for all skin types because it's not too harsh. These ones are a little bit more stringent, I suppose. These may cause problems with people for sensitive skin. But yes, definitely recommend these ones. Absolutely love them. And I mean, the packaging as well. It's just calls to me. Now this item will be no surprise to those of you who've watched my recent haul video. I will be doing a video on this later on. It's the NYX Beauty School Dropout palette. yeah, if you saw my last haul video, you'd know how excited I was to get this and how much I went crazy for it. I will be doing a video on this specifically later on, but I just wanted to mention that it is one of my favorites at the moment. I do reach for it most days because it is incredible. I don't want to go on about the whole thing too much at this point because I will focus on that later on, but I will point out my favorite piece of the whole package at the moment is this highlighter right here, this like pinky one. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's a bit scary because it is cool toned, and I've used cool toned highlighters before and they're okay, but it was still out of my comfort zone for sure. But I've been pushing myself to use it more and more just to try it out, and found that I actually am now reaching for this one more than my other highlighters, which is amazing. It's just really soft. It's got that really nice standout kind of highlight, while still blending really well and being really soft, if that's possible. It's just gorgeous on the skin, or at least on my skin that is quite light. It's just beautiful. And when I use it on my Cupid's bow, it has this kind of icy component to it because it is cool toned, and it just makes you look so much more fresh as opposed to all the warm toned highlighters which are more like glowy. This is more like crisp fresh. So I mean, I love the whole palette at the moment. I'm still playing with it, still discovering it, but it has not let me down so far. So still working my way through it. I'll be doing a video on this shortly, so keep your eyes peeled for that one coming up if you're interested. Last thing I have here is some brushes. I've got 2 of the Makeup Geek brushes here. I mean, I love all of the Makeup Geek brushes that I have, but if I had to pick 2, these 2 are my top at the moment. They are a little bit dirty, so sorry, they are due for a bath as always. Always the problem with products that you use all the time is they get dirty. So these brushes are the Soft Dome brush and the Defined Crease brush. So this one here is the Soft Dome and this one here is the Defined Crease. You can see they're pretty much the same shape, one's just larger than the other. They are just divine. They have changed my makeup game so much. This one is the perfect blending transition fluffy brush. I use this every day to start off my eye looks by putting in, a transition color and to blend out things. It just makes makeup effortless. It's like, it doesn't matter how crappy I am, this just makes it work. It is just beautiful and flawless. And this one, likewise, it's essentially the same thing, just smaller. So I use this more for like the tighter colors, like here on the outer corner. Because it is so fluffy and wonderful, it just blends out everything and makes it look perfect. So again, it's like, it doesn't matter how like rushed I am trying to get my makeup done, it just makes it so smooth and soft. So these have been a complete game changer for me. I definitely recommend them if you're thinking about getting any Makeup Geek brushes, just do it. So yes, they're absolutely beautiful and I just love them. So that concludes my story time of Bek's favourites at this point in time. I've also done a blog post of these products as well, which I'll link below in the description box. As always, if you have any questions about anything I've talked about or about anything in general, really, just ask below. I'll do my best to answer it. If you're new here, then please make sure you click the subscribe button so you see future videos. Hope you all have a fantastic week and I will see you next time.